Bienvenidos and welcome to Under SF, the show where we focus on fantastic local neighborhoods inside of San Francisco. I'm Erica Cataray.
And I'm Cameron Davis, and on this episode, we're going to take you into the beautiful Mission District. First, we'll be stopping by one of the biggest festivals in the heart of the Mission. Later, we'll be joined by a talented chef for a taste of the fantastic food that only the Mission District can offer.
And last but not least, we're going to have an interview with a San Francisco local who will be joining us to talk about their perspective on how recent changes have been having major effects on the Mission within the past 5 years.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we have to let you know a little bit about the Mission before we can really start talking about it.
The district is home to the oldest surviving building in San Francisco. While the area was originally home to a group of Native Americans from the Ohlone tribe, Spanish missionaries colonized the area and forced the locals to complete Mission Dolores and out of their own homes.
During the 40s and 60s, a huge influx of Latino families came to the Mission. They replaced many families who were leaving the area to head for suburbs outside of San Francisco. Since then, the district has become an epicenter for all things Latino in the Bay Area.
However, the Mission is currently being forced with a rapid gentrification process due to San Francisco's tech boom. While the district is gaining more and more interest from affluent newcomers, recent trends show that the changes taking place in the district are threatening to heavily affect its Latino residents.
In an attempt to profit from the current real estate market, many landlords are attempting to get current residents out of their homes with a large string of buyouts or no-fault evictions. If trends continue, the Mission stands to lose over 8,000 Latino residents by 2025.
While tensions are high because of the intense gentrification taking place within the district, it hasn't stopped the locals from celebrating their roots.
Are there any big celebrations you can come up with just off the top of your head?
Since we're just getting into the winter, one big event always stands out to me. The Mission District is also host to a huge event at the start of every November. If you've been around the area, I'm sure you know exactly what it is. I'm talking about the annual Dia de los Muertos festival.
Sounds awesome. What's it all about?
Dia de los Muertos is a day when people remember the lives of their lost friends and family members. Instead of mourning, everyone goes out and celebrates the lives of those who have passed away.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'd much rather be remembered for my long, amazing life rather than that one time I died.
We stopped by the Dia de los Muertos festival in the Mission District to see how San Francisco celebrates the Day of the Dead.
I'm Juan Pablo Gutierrez, and I'm the director of the Colectivo del Rescate Cultural. I guess in a couple of hours, the 33rd annual San Francisco Day of the Dead ritual procession is taking place. It's the largest in the country. I don't think even LA can boast that. And what I mean by boast is I do it very proudly because it's not just me. Even though it is a Mexican festival, we made since the beginning an open invitation to people of all cultures. It started with about 150 people. Last year, according to the police estimates, there was 350,000 people of all ages and cultures that have over the years joined in honoring their dead, because all of us from all cultures honor our dead, especially in a grand way, the way that we do here in San Francisco. If you walk over to the corner of 26th and Harrison, you're going to see over 100 public altars that are set up. They're ready to go at 5 o'clock and they go until 10 p.m. We invited the Centro Municipal de Cultura, Arte y Turismo of Mazatlan. To my left is the director of the Visual Arts Department, Cecilia Sanchez Duarte. She has taken the idea of the procession and it's now one of their biggest cultural attractions in Mazatlan. And to her left is one of our chief volunteers, Kevin Woodson, which is a visual artist. Even though he lives in Oakland, we claimed him and reclaimed him and will continue claiming him in San Francisco all these years.
Well, Dia de Muertos comes from pre-Hispanic roots. On that times, people didn't think about death and life as different realities. They were one. And when the Spaniards came, the conquest, it was combined. As Juan Pablo was saying, culture is alive. So when these two cultures got together, then it was combined within the years, wasn't automatically, because pre-Hispanic people continued even if the Spaniards didn't know. Since culture is alive, it has been evolving and evolving. And now we have a celebration of life with death.
Culture is not something that is static. Culture is something that is constantly evolving. How we do it here is based on traditions, but incorporating those traditions to whatever culture we come from. Because fortunately, we have people from all over the world here in this city. And it doesn't matter what culture you come from, as long as there's that identity. We don't receive any money from the city, state, or federal, or private, or corporate money. You're not gonna see any logo types on the poster. I have to stick to our principles and to our main theme, which says, Nuestros muertos no se venden. Our dead are not for sale. It's not just maintaining the traditions, but adapting the traditions to what is contemporary, the issues that are contemporary, like the decimation of the mission. Not only access to housing, but access to cultural events. If you can't even pay for where you're living, how are you going to pay for a ticket for anything cultural? Those are very real issues for real people that live here.
I just love how the organizers give out an open invitation to people of all cultures. I love seeing so many people come together to celebrate an experience that we all have in common.
When we come back from our break, we're going to have a chef that will be joining us in the studio to share one of Latin America's favorite dishes. Thanks for watching Under SF. We'll be right back.
Donate to Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco and let your change become the change a family needs. Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco, building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Take a deep breath.
UCSF Valencia Health Services believes that spending quality time with our patients is the key to providing excellent health care.
Time for a checkup.
You spend time with your kids because you care about them. Well, so do we. Valencia Health Services' dedicated staff of nurse practitioners and pediatricians are here for your child's needs. Quality time, quality care. UCSF Valencia Health Services.
Hey, welcome back to Under SF. I'm Cool Breeze Cameron Davis. And today we're taking a close look at the Mission District of San Francisco. Now earlier we showed you the Dia de los Muertos Festival. And while that's fun, if you really want to get to know a culture, what do you got to do? You got to try the food. So today we're checking out some authentic Mexican food. We have our friend Jonathan here, who's going to show us how to make ceviche.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So great on ceviche style, I just wanted to explain, number one, ceviche should always be about freshness, it should be about crisp and flavors, it should be about beautiful, bright colors, as you can see. And it's all about just, making it sure, like, number one, you're having fun, and number two, it tastes delicious, and number three, you can share with the family, for sure.
I love sharing.
Yes, sharing
Sometimes,
is caring.
Unless it's too good, I might not share with you.
Great. Cool. Okay, so if I want me to begin, so we have this is beautiful ahi tuna. So this is
nice.
This is sushi grade coming out of Hawaii. We have red radishes. We have beautiful cherry tomatoes, red onions, some kosher salt, beautiful cilantro, as you can see, serrano chilies, which are kind of a smokier little tinge, way better than jalapenos. Fresh orange kind of segments, we like to call them,
Okay.
chips, and that's just fresh lime juice.
Fresh lime, freshly squeezed. I
Fresh
just saw you do
squeezed,
it.
fresh squeezed lime juice. So if I want me to begin, it's just really, I just want you to kind of just mix it around like that as I
You
start.
want me to do that?
Yeah. So I'll start
right.
adding the ingredients. There you go.
All right.
Get in there, brother. Get in there. Okay, now we're adding.
Look at me, Ma.
Yeah. So we have onions, we have tomatoes. Next thing I'm going to add is the serrano chilies. Okay, if you want to add do it sexy style,
Sexy style,
Sexy
okay.
style, just let it rip. Let it rip. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
there it is.
Dude,
It's all
no
over there.
way. And then,
That just happened.
and then we're going to add some of this.
Okay. So you just toss it in there, or do you kind of like?
So you want to kind of sprig it out. So
Okay.
you see these flavors are kind of come together. And ceviche is not necessarily supposed to be cooked. It's more of a marinade, as we like to call it. Here's some fresh kosher salt.
And now with ceviche, with the end product, the fish is cooked?
It is cooked, but it should also have some texture to it. You don't want it cooked you don't want it mushy by any chance. But it's more of a marinade than I would say it's more of a kind of cooked process. The acid in it definitely cooks bacteria away, but it just should remain fresh and plump and juicy as
That
possible.
acid from the lime juice.
Exactly. And then
Beautiful.
I'm going to add a couple of orange, kind of just for garnish, just dolloped around. I'm going to add some chips.
All right.
There you go. And you see then at this point you can smell the tuna. You can smell it's beautiful. You can smell the orange. You can see the cilantro. You can see the
It's extremely colorful.
it's extremely colorful, and there it is. That is our Mission Street tuna ceviche with cilantro, oranges, and radish. Boom.
High five.
All right.
You just did that.
Thank you.
I just got lime all over you. I'm
No,
sorry.
I like it. I like it.
So, okay, so you grew up in the Mission, right?
Yeah, so I grew up in San Francisco, Geneva, Mission District for sure.
How was that?
It was amazing. You know, it was all about, working family, working class family, just being together. It was all about the neighborhood. It was all about the kids just running around. And everybody knew each other. Everybody knew each other's parents. Everybody knew each other's grandma. So to me, it wasn't just a neighborhood. It was a big family, always block party. Always a
Block party.
Block party.
You started going family, and then you said block party, and then
Yeah.
I was like, all right, now I'm,
Yeah.
I can see myself getting into that. No, the Mission District is a very vibrant place.
Exactly.
And it looks beautiful. I can only imagine what it was like to grow up there.
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously being from Latin descent, we all spoke Spanish, but our second language was definitely English. But we spoke Spanish throughout, kidhood and everything. I can remember. And food was definitely a big part of that. So food,
Of course.
being just great with each other and just having fun as kids. And it's a true culture that I feel, as a kid, I'm very fortunate to be part of.
Great.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what got you into cooking and the culinary arts?
I would say my grandma. My grandma was just an amazing cook, she was literally my first chef. And so she would go to a lot of the Mission Street butcher shops, a lot of the markets, and I would just be there following with her as a little kid. So there I was, just following her as a little kid, and she just would drag me to the butcher shops, and to me, my grandma was my rock star. Everybody knew who she was, everybody knew what she wanted, and she was tough. She was a tough lady, and we would go home, and she would help me cook, literally help me cook. I would help her cook, and I just fell in love with it from day one.
That's beautiful. That's what it is. Everyone's family stories. It's all about grandma cooking that food.
Yeah.
And you're lucky to have had that experience with learning from her too. I wish I would have paid attention in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I just shove it in my.
Yeah. and in the Mission, there was always somebody barbecuing. There was always some kind of there was always tamales, at the corner. There was always just something just happening. And so that to me even more inspired me to get into more cooking, but as a sole base of not just income, but as a sole base to do something that I love.
Right, because you also work with a program called Eat With.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Eat With is just a startup that we kind of host out of our homes in a sense, but it's kind of bringing the restaurant outside of a restaurant, so the guests can actually come to the chef's home and actually experience that home style, that social dining experiment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I'd love to check that out.
Yeah.
Now, what about in your upcoming career, I'll say in the near future, are there any goals you have for what you want to do?
I think there's always the goal for every chef to own your own restaurant, to definitely own your own property, to play by your own rules and definitely play by not just your rules but give back to the community. So I think that's for my next step. That's what I'm focusing my entire time on. So that's why I'm here, giving back to you. I'm giving back to you.
Beautiful.
Great.
I am so glad you came here to do that because I love ceviche.
Good.
Yeah.
You want to taste?
Let's do this.
Let's do a little taste. Okay.
I'm gonna get my chip.
You want to get your chip?
You get yours.
Okay.
We're gonna.
I'm gonna get a little chili. Don't forget the little chili.
Oh, of course not.
Oh
I love a good spice. There we go.
Cheers.
He's hiding from me.
And look at that. Look at that. It's just beautiful. All right. Cheers, brother. Salud. Opa.
That lime hits you just like that. Right away. Beautiful citrus flavors.
So good.
And like you said, fresh. It's just incredibly fresh.
That's
It's
delicious.
insane.
Yeah. I can't wait till the camera shut off. I'm gonna eat all of it.
I'm gonna have to fight you, so I hope the cameras go off too.
Okay.
Okay. I was
All right.
noticing these tattoos and I was really curious.
Yeah. So it's all just family related. So that's my grandpa's pocket watch, and Integridad, Fuerza, Honor, which is integrity, strength, and honor. So
Beautiful.
that's it.
All right, that was absolutely delicious. Thanks again, John, for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Appreciate it.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate that. Guys, stay tuned because when we come back from this quick break, we're gonna have another special guest. This is Under SF.
A veces yo me pierdo por caminos en la oscuridad.
Guess what? What? My mom just finished enrolling me in school and I just can't wait to start. My dad just took me shopping to buy everything I need for school. My mom says I'm gonna learn a whole bunch of new exciting things. What about you? I don't know. My mom hasn't filled out the application yet.
You have the tools, you have the power. You can help your child by completing the enrollment application on time today.
Chances of playing in the NFL, 1 in 1,500. Chances of becoming a pop star, 1 in 3,000. Chances of becoming a Hollywood actor, 1 in 5,000. Chances of getting into a school of your choice are better than 4 in 5. First round enrollment. It's for your family's future.
A veces yo me pierdo por caminos en la oscuridad.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Under SF. I'm Erica Cadre, and today we're focusing on the Mission District of San Francisco. Since the 1940s, the Mission has established itself as a major center for Latino culture within the Bay Area. However, over the last few years, the district has found itself in a battle to preserve the Mission's cultural identity. Gentrification is defined as the buying and renovation of housing and stores within lower income areas by wealthier individuals. Due to the increase over time in rent or property taxes, many of the original locals are forced to leave their long-standing homes and businesses behind. Joining me in the studio today to talk about her perspective on how gentrification has been affecting the Mission within the past few years is Cecilia Anderson. Thank you so much for being here, Cecilia.
Of course.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. So within the last 5 years, gentrification has really sped up. How have you seen it change?
I've definitely seen a lot of local businesses moving out. The community has changed as well, and the culture is definitely a big gap in the culture.
Yeah, and you mentioned businesses. What sort of businesses have you seen move in and out or be affected by this?
A lot of local establishments that have been there for a very long time have had to move out due to the price increase lately. One example is a friend of mine grew up next to a convenience store, and that convenience store changed into a more upscale store to buy alcohol, basically.
Yeah. Do you notice certain areas in the Mission that are more affected than others?
I would say the 24th Street and Mission has
24th
definitely
Street.
changed quite a lot.
Do you know any families, personally yourself, that has been affected, or any story you want to share?
I do know a few families that have had to move out because of what's been happening lately. My friend grew up at this apartment complex, and the families that he grew up with, they had to leave. They were told by the landlord that their place would be remodeled and that they could move in again. However, once everything was done and they did move in, the landlord raised the price too much, to the point where the families had to leave.
Do you notice any other tactics that landlords may use to kind of move out their tenants and get rid of them?
Some landlords will try to buy out their tenants. They'll try to give a certain amount of money so that they can leave. Also, I know of one story where a family was told that there was asbestos in the apartment complex, and they were told that the landlord would fix the problem. However, when they moved back in, they were told that they couldn't stay there anymore.
Oh, I see. Do you notice culture being affected by this?
Very much so. I think the culture has changed drastically. It doesn't feel as communal as it used to be. Before, when I was younger, you could walk around in the neighborhood and say hi to whoever and actually have a conversation with them. More so recently, it's been more individualistic, and people have been doing their own thing.
Yeah. Have you seen or noticed citizens in the Mission District and the community come together to try to do something about this?
I have seen certain efforts that certain community members have tried to do. Recently, about a year ago, I was at a concert, and at this concert they actually fundraised for individuals that were displaced. And they also talked to the younger generation that were there, trying to get them to help out a little bit more.
So what can residents do if they're faced with this issue?
I would say the best option would be to go to the local district representative, talk to them, tell them their story, have their voice heard, and also go to City Hall, try to tell the representatives there what's going on.
Well, thank you so much, Cecilia, for coming. We really appreciate it here. And that wraps it up for another episode of Under SF. I'd like to give a special thanks to my co-host, Cameron Davis, all of our guests that came to the studio today, and to Juan Pablo Gutierrez for making time for us during Dia de los Muertos. I'm Erica Catteray, and thanks for watching Under SF.